Okay, I've had a request from several people to show a video on how I color, and even though I'm not a certified Copic instructor, that is what I color with most of the time. So here goes. I'm going to color this cute little Santa face. I cropped it out from an image on squigglefly.com that's called Santa's Mailbox, and I just cropped his head out for a project I'm going to do. And I'm going to color his skin first. So I'm going to use YRR, EOO, and R2O. First I'm going to put some blush on his cheeks, and I'm just going to fill in these little circles so they look like little round cheeks. And then I'm going to take my YROO, which is my darker flesh color, and I'm going to kind of just go around the edge of his hairline where it would be naturally shadowed. Now I'm going to take my EOO, and I'm just going to fill in the rest of his face. It's okay if you go over the colors you've already put down, and you want to kind of blend in your shadowed areas a little. And I may come back and add a little bit more of the YROO just for a bit more contrast. And I'm going to let that sit, and we're going to go to his red hat. For the red hat, I'm using R08, R24, and R14. R08 is my lightest color. So I'm going to fill in his hat. I just go around the edges a bit. If I know ahead of time where I'm going to have my highlight, I might leave it white, but if I don't, I go back in later with my white highlight pen. Now I'm going to take my second darkest color, which is the R14. I'm going to shade the areas that I want to have. There's not a lot of difference in that, but we'll come back and darken that up with our darker color. I hope I'm staying in the camera view. It's hard for me to tell. Now where I've gone out of the lines there, I clean that up with my colorless marker, my colorless blender, which is O, and you just push your color back into the line and it acts like an eraser. Push it back in there. Now I'm going to take my R24, which is my darkest red, and go in here where I want it shadowed more. And I actually think I'm going to go a little bit darker because that's not as dark as I thought. So I'm going to go to an R27. That's giving more contrast like I want there. Now I'll take my R24 and blend this in. These marker brush tips, I just kind of use them like I would a paintbrush rather than a marker. And this area here is still needing to be cleaned up a bit. I'm going to end up flocking that anyway, probably. It's harder to clean up the darker colors. So now I will take my pink again and pink up his cheeks a bit. Go back with my EOO. I want to get a little bit more color to his face. The markers tend to lighten as they dry, so sometimes you can go back and see that you need to add more color. Now I'm going to add flocking to the hat ball and the hat brim, and I'm going to leave his hair just plain white, except I want to give a little bit of shading to it. So I'm going to use this C1 Cool Gray. Just kind of add a little bit of Santa's hair is not just stark white. Do his beard, his mustache the same way. His beard, I don't know, I might end up adding flock or liquid applique or something to it. But just in case I want to leave it, I'll outline it a little bit with this gray. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to show that much. It's just a little bit of shadowing. Now I'm going to take my white highlighter and highlight his cheek a little bit if I scribble and get it going. Sometimes you got to scribble to get the ink flowing in these things. Highlight his cheek a little bit. Let's see, does he need more? Let's put one there. So that's a basic lesson on coloring. I know there's not very many colors in here, but you get an idea of how I do the faces and the shadowing of different different shades of a color. So I hope that's been helpful to you, and in a little while I'll post a picture of the project I'm going to make with this. Thanks. Bye.